Alrighty, welcome back to Summit Valley Sports Podcast. This is episode 5 with a really unique episode. I had a technical issue. I was trying to upload it last night and it did not work, so I'm recording this morning. Um, Hopefully, it turns out good. I'm sorry if there's any background noise or anything. Um, but let's get straight into this. Before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, share. It really helps the algorithm and helps me out. It helps the brand out. Also, click the link below if you're interested in the shirts, or comment or DM me, and I can get back to you on that. Alrighty. Anyways, let's get straight into the podcast because we have a lot to talk about. Because I missed last week again. Sorry about that. Um, all right, let's get straight into it. Strickland. I didn't get to react to these fights, so I'm gonna react a little bit and kind of give my opinions on a few of these fights because these were so awesome to watch. Sean Strickland captured the middleweight title from Hamzat Chimaev. Absolutely crazy. He was a huge underdog. He was super counted out. Yeah, I can't believe he got it. He took it by split decision. A lot of people had it the other way. A lot of people had it Chimaev winning. I think you could go either way. In all honesty, it was one of those type of fights. Both fighters landed damage. Strickland was very beat up, very beat up. Uh, but what this means for Strickland and after he captured the middleweight title fight or title belt is I think he fights Nasruddin Imavov. I know we've already seen them fight once, but that was a few years ago. And lately, Imavov has been on a tear, and Sean Strickland looks like he's brand new. So I think that's perfect for the middleweight division. And honestly, like if Chimaev would have won the belt, like where would we have gone from there? I don't know where we could have gone because he said that was going to be his last fight. So if he didn't win the belt, the middleweight division kind of would have been in a little, maybe a little worse than what it is right now. Right now, a lot of people are saying there's too many question marks in the division, which I kind of agree, but I don't, and I'm gonna get straight into that. But yeah, Strickland's gonna fight Imavov next. I think he already called him out after the fight, so he knows who's next. He knows who he's gonna fight. But unfortunately, in that fight, he suffered some injuries. He had a huge his nose swelled up. It was crazy. I'm sure you guys saw that. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, his broken nose. That was swelled up like crazy. Um, I think he tweeted out he had a few other injuries, like 3 or 4 injuries. So he walked out of this fight with like 4 or 5 injuries, which is pretty crazy. Um, he was pretty beat up. Hamzat Chimaev put on some damage, and I could see why people were possibly on Chimaev. So, but yeah, Strickland had the broken nose. He said he tore his rotator cuff in his shoulder. So, yeah, he's gonna have to, before he fights Imavov, he's gonna have to heal up. I'm not sure how long the UFC gives him. In all honesty, uh, it, I don't know how long he's gonna need. Broken nose, torn rotator cuff, and he said he had a few other injuries too. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure how long the UFC is gonna want to give him. It's like maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, but I don't know. You know, Strickland, he just tries to get in there as soon as possible. But he was pretty beat up. I've never seen. I mean, someone's face start swelling up. His lips turned black and purple. It was crazy. It was sorry about that. It was almost immediately. Um, but I there's such a good fight. I think you can mark it either way. In all honesty, I'm gonna have to watch it again. I only watched it that one time that night, but I don't know. I don't know if I could give a strong opinion just watching it once. Uh, I think I leaned Strickland a little. Um, Watching it the one live, but let me rewatch it and I'll give my opinion on the next podcast. But honestly, I think this marks Sean Strickland as the best underdog in UFC history. I mean, I can't think of anyone who's done this big a caliber of upsets twice in a row in their career, and like against so dominant fighters. I guess he beat Israel Adesanya when he was on his huge streak. I know it was towards the end, but um, and Sean Strickland may have fought him at the perfect time, but yeah, it's still Israel Adesanya. That's like this era's Anderson Silva. So yeah, he beat Izzy and then just beat the dominating boogeyman Hamzat Chimaev and proved everyone wrong. I mean, I'm sure there was a few people on Sean Strickland, but yeah, Chimaev was a huge favorite in that, and I think Sean Strickland definitely goes down as the UFC's best underdog in UFC history. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got Hamzat Chimaev. What does he do with his in the future? What's his next step? Um, in my opinion, his next step is to move up to 205. That that weight cut is too ridiculous. He cut 46 pounds to make weight. I mean, I've never heard of anyone cutting that much weight before. I don't know if that's been possible ever. Uh, there was tons of controversy if he even made weight. It didn't look like he made weight at first. But yeah, there's tons of controversy if he even made weight. I don't. So his next step, in my opinion, is to move up to 205. I don't think you can stay at 185. He's been calling for the rematch. I don't know if it's him or his manager, but he's saying that that's the only fight he wants to accept right currently. And I don't know if I don't know if that's the right move, especially for the UFC, because you're risking a lot. Like if he misses weight, that's gonna ruin Chimaev completely, and it ruins the fight. So it's like a lose-lose situation almost. Um, so yeah, I think Chimaev's next move is to move up to 205. He either fights Paulo Costa for the vacant belt, or he fights the winner of Paulo Costa versus Ankalaev. I don't know what the UFC has plans, but if I had a guess, I think they do Paulo Costa versus Ankalaev, but I really want to see Paulo Costa versus Hamzat Chimaev. There's some real blood there. Supposedly, uh, who was it? One of them DM'd the other's wife. I think it was Chimaev. I could get that completely wrong. I'm not sure, but yeah, this is bad blood. So I really want to see that fight in the future. Paulo Costa versus Hamzat Chimaev at the 205 division, especially while Carlos Olberg is just sitting there on the sidelines healing his ACL tear. So, um, but yeah, that's definitely Chimaev's next step. That's the smart decision in my opinion. I don't think the rematch should happen. I think Sean Strickland should stay at 185. Hamzat go do his thing at 205, and yeah, he never has to do that weight cut again because that weight cut was absolutely horrendous. I've never seen anything like that. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got the middleweight future. Yeah, what is the future of the middleweight hold? Well, I mean, there's tons of young stars right now. There's Joe Piper, there's Kyle Bahalo, there's still DDP that people are forgetting about. I mean, you seen DDP's face light up as soon as Sean Strickland got announced that he claimed the middleweight title. His face lit up like fireworks. He was so excited to hear Sean Strickland get the belt back because he's beat Sean Strickland twice. So he's very confident he could do that a third time if that ever does happen. Um, in my opinion, I don't know if that will happen. To be honest, I don't think anyone's asking for that, anyways. Who wants to see a trilogy that someone's 0-2 to 0-2 to another fighter? Like, I'm good. I'd rather see Imavov versus Strickland, and then I'd actually like to see Kyle Bahalo versus uh I'd actually like to sorry about that. I'd actually like to see Kyle Bahalo versus DDP. I think that's the contender series or contender fight to make. The winner of that should fight for the belt next. The winner of Strickland versus Imavov. and that's a banger fight. I would love to see that fight. The wrestling, the jujitsu, the striking. I like DDP so unorthodox. So his striking's crazy. Kyle Bahalo's kickboxing is good. Yeah, I would love to see that fight. And I mean, we can't forget about Joe Piper, the young buck. Uh, Israel Adesanya is still there. He still needs one more fight before he retires. So, yeah, the middleweight division is doing good. I don't think it's as cloudy as people are thinking. Or people are saying since Sean Strickland won, it put a wrench in the UFC's plans. I don't think so. I think this is exactly what they have. They have so many different plans. Like if different scenarios happen. So yeah, I think we're all good in the middleweight division. I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got Joshua Van and his next opponent in the future of the flyweight. Yeah, Joshua Van had an absolute banger. Congratulations, Joshua Van, for capturing that belt or defending that belt. Sorry, it seems like he captured that belt because, in all honesty, that first fight, the Pantoja, that was ridiculous. Um, it's no one's fault. It's a one of those sports injuries. Um, but yeah, speaking of Pantoja, that's who I think Joshua Van needs to fight next, and it's one of those prove 'em fights. He didn't beat Pantoja. Pantoja got hurt within the first like minute or two, so I'd love to see Joshua Van fight Pantoja. I'm a huge fan of Pantoja. I watched him live at UFC 290 with my wife. I watched him capture the belt from Brandon Moreno, and I was the only one in that stadium. I swear. I have a video of it. Maybe I'll play it in this clip, or maybe I'll make it into a short or something. But I'm the only one in that stadium cheering for Pantoja, and the whole crowd, because it's a Mexican crowd. There was a bunch of Mexican fighters, so they were. I mean, they're die hard for Brandon Moreno, and once they announced that Pantoja took it, I'm pretty sure it went to split too. So it made it even more like crazy ending. But yeah, that was such a crazy fight to witness live. That will always stay close to my heart. But yeah, watching Pantoja, that was so dope. I got to cheer for Pantoja every time I see him. So, but yeah, Joshua Van fighting Pantoja, that's definitely the fight to make next. Um, I think I think if Joshua Van wins that, that's gonna shut a lot of haters down because a lot of people are talking like, "Oh, is he really worth it? He just beat Tyara, but he's young still." And yeah, but so is Joshua Van. He's so young and he's just improving week by week by week. So, uh, shout out Joshua Van. Congratulations again. Um, but yeah, Pantoja is definitely the fight to make next. All right, moving on to the next topic. Oh, my boy Makayev, Muhammad Makayev. Whenever I say my boy or my girl or like that's my fighter, that means I've been cheering for them since they first started. So yeah, when Muhammad Makayev, that's my boy. I've been cheering for him since he first got into the UFC. This kid's so dominant. I believed in him so much. I thought he was gonna beat John Jones's record for becoming the youngest champion in UFC history. I think he could have done it if he just stayed out of trouble, but unfortunately, he's one of those kids who just not going to back down from anyone and not going to take anyone's crap. Um, so he's one of those like young Russian gangsters. He'll get right in your face if you aren't going to show respect. So, um, but yeah, I think Makayev is the future of that flyweight division. I think there's plans. I think he's gonna join the UFC here. Hopefully this year. There's rumors of him getting back into the UFC this year. This kid's been fighting in every single organization. I mean, he's going from left to right, left to right, everywhere. Sorry about that. I'm trying to talk fast. He's going to every organization and dominating, staying undefeated. And I mean, he's even wrestling. He wrestled Armin Sarukian, who's 30, 40 pounds heavier than him. Even Hamzat Chimaev made fun of Armin Sarukian for wrestling him. Um, Sorry about my voice too. I'm I'm a little stuffy. If you could hear that, sorry about that if it's annoying. But anyways, yeah, he wrestled Armin Sarukian. Armin Sarukian submitted him, but I mean, he's still undefeated in the MMA world, and no, I don't think anyone can beat him in MMA. His wrestling is so dominant. His striking is getting better and better. I his jujitsu is insane. I love his submissions. Um, but yeah, I think Makayev is the future. I would love to see that in the future. Joshua Van versus Muhammad Makayev. Makayev just needs to get right. He needs to just keep calm, keep focusing on your future. Um, but yeah, let's get Muhammad Makayev back in the UFC. I'd love to see that. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that, or if you've seen any of his fights. He's a very fun fighter. All right, moving on to the next topic. Okay. Shout out Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Very deserving of it. Speaking of the middleweight division, that's a former middleweight champion right there, and very very deserving of the Hall of Fame. Shout out Chris Weidman. He's also a sports analyst, so he's a very good analyst too. He's very funny too. I like his interviews. Yeah, shout out Chris Weidman, inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's really cool. I like that. All right, we got Cody Gar. Or no, sorry about that. Sorry, skipping ahead. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got Charles Oliveira. He just got awarded, or not awarded. He signed, technically awarded. Yeah, he beat Max Holloway for this. He signed a 8-fight contract. Congratulations to Charles Oliveira. I'm sure that was a good payday for him and very well deserving. That's the UFC's greatest jiu-jitsu specialist right there, Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. But yeah, I was watching. Shout out Brendan Schaub. I was watching his podcast, and the way he was describing this. Don't quote me because I'm summarizing. I'm paraphrasing this, but yeah, the way he was describing this, the eight fights. Obviously, he's not going to fight 8 more fights in the UFC. He's up there in age. He's 37 years old. Um, uh, but yeah, he's obviously not going to fight 8 fights. But this is to keep him from signing with MVP or like Netflix, or PFL, Bellator. He can't fight under anyone other than the UFC organization. So I'm sure with that sacrifice, it came a great payday, which I said he's well deserving of it. If anyone's deserving of it, it's Du Bronx. I mean, that kid bleeds the UFC right there. Um, sorry about that. But yeah. Shout out Charles Oliveira for signing an 8-fight contract. That's pretty cool. I can't wait for his next fight. All right, moving on to the next topic. Oh yeah, this was crazy. I'm sure you guys saw this. Josh Hokett and his antics at the press conference, at the UFC Freedom press conference. That was hilarious. Josh Hokett, he just as soon as he steps on the stage, he's in character. I mean, the character comes out almost immediately. It's so funny. I think it's entertaining. I know it's rubbing people the wrong way currently. Um, I don't think he can keep this up. I guess is what I'm trying to say, but without like rubbing people the wrong way, which you've seen. Alex Pereira, he got under Alex Pereira's skin. He got under Ilio Toperia's skin, and you almost seen a brawl right there. That was absolutely crazy. That would have been so wild. I know the UFC's not trying to have that, especially at the White House. So I wonder if they're gonna talk to Josh Hokett about his antics and maybe calm it down a little bit, just a little bit, because like they can't afford anything to happen, especially something wild like that. Um, yeah, I was very surprised to see something like that happen. And you seen my boy Sugar Sean O'Malley just chilling in between. That was hilarious. I really like. I knew he was recording too when he was recording a Hokit going off with his little spiel. That was hilarious. Yeah, shout out Sugar Sean. That was so funny. Um, the whole press conference kind of got ruined by Josh Hoke. I'm not gonna lie, it was going very smoothly until he got on the mic. I'm not sure if they're gonna probably do something in the future to where they hold him back from getting on the mic, but I wouldn't doubt it in all honesty. But yeah, Josh Hoke, that character, his characters, he's so funny. I don't know if we've seen someone like this, like that plays like so many different characters, I guess. And then I'm sure deep down he's just a chill guy too. Like after getting away from the characters and stuff and off the mic and camera. But yeah, that UFC two or UFC Freedom press conference was so wild. I can't wait for those fights. We'll talk more into it as it gets closer. I know it's getting very close, but yeah, we'll talk more into it as it gets a little closer. Alrighty. Moving on to the next topic. Oh, this was cool. We got Rafael Fiziev versus Manuel Torres for UFC Baku in June. I think they're the main event. Um, that's a banger. That's a barn burner. Rafael Fiziev, very technical kickboxer. Uh, very quick. Uh, what else can you say about Fiziev? I mean, very skilled, very skilled. I like Rafael Fiziev. Kind of hasn't turned out into like the prospect everyone wanted, I guess. I know he's had a few injuries too, unfortunately, but that just comes with the game, I guess. Manuel Torres, this dude, he hits like a truck. He's all gas, no pedals. If I said that right, I don't know. Um, but yeah, such a banger UFC Baku in June. I can't wait for that fight. All right, moving on to the next topic. Oh, this was a cool one. All right, Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez for UFC 329 got added. Cody Garbrandt, he just beat Long Zhao in the most awkward fight ever. I don't know if you guys seen that fight. That was the weirdest fight I've ever seen. Uh, I think it was Long Zhao. He was beating Cody Garbrandt in my opinion 2-0, and then he got, or no, wait. Yeah, I think it was 2-0, and then he kept hitting him with groin shots and got a minus a point or minus 2 points. I can't remember. But anyways, it ended up being into the third. Sorry, ended up being into the third round, and it was 0-0. So whoever won that round was gonna win the fight, which is very weird. Um, yeah, I don't know how you, I don't know how you can score that. I had Long Zhao winning the fight, but Cody Garbrandt somehow ended up winning. So I mean, good for Cody. That's a good win, I guess. Keeps his career alive a little bit longer. Adrian Yanez, I think he just got a win over Ricky Simone in UFC Seattle. So good win right there. Adrian Yanez, hopefully, maybe he's looking to create a little streak. I thought he was on his way out, but yeah, both these fighters I thought were on their way out, but maybe it's that type of fight. Loser goes home. But yeah, UFC 329 added another fight: Cody Garbrandt and Adrian Yanez. Pretty good fight. All right, moving on to the next topic. Sorry about that. Oh, here we go. Patty Pimlet versus BSD. Benoit Saint Denis got confirmed for UFC 329 in July. So far, there's no main event currently, but I think they're co-maining it, or they're the fight before the co-main event. If I'm mistaken, I can't remember, to be honest. Remember, I'm recording this early in the morning. But yeah, Patty Pimlet versus BSD got confirmed. We talked about this in the last episode of the podcast a few weeks ago. We heard the rumor, and then Benoit and Patty made the videos about each other. So yeah, they've been going back and forth for a little bit now. Um, but yeah, I can't wait for that fight. I'm sure we'll talk more into it as it gets closer. That's in for UFC International Fight Week, so that's in July, and I can't wait for that fight. Patty Pimlet just lost to Justin Gaethje for the title, so he's looking to get back in the win column, and BSD's looking to get a win over Patty and hopefully jump for the title next. I think if he does beat Patty, he will get the title next, probably. I don't think you could deny him after that. He's on a streak right now, and beating someone like Patty Pimlet would skyrocket his name to the top. So, um, yeah, I think that's exactly what he wants. I think that's what the UFC is going to do, too, if he does beat Patty. But yeah, this is going to be a great fight. I can't wait for it. UFC International Fight Week is starting to heat up. I can't wait. I said earlier that there's no main event, and that's the next topic. Is I think McGregor versus Max Holloway is about to be announced. It's probably going to be announced. I could see probably within the week or two. They need to announce it pretty soon. I'm surprised International Fight Week. There's the rumor, obviously, of McGregor, and it's been rumored with Holloway. So it needs to be announced. It needs to be announced soon to get this hype going. Uh, I saw that Brendan Schaub on his podcast thinks that it's going to be announced today, on the day Ronda Rousey and damn, I keep forgetting her last name. Giovanna, I can't remember. I can't remember. She hasn't fought in 17 years, so give me a break. um, but yeah, I can't wait for that. That's the fight to make. Conor McGregor versus Max the Blessed Holloway. I can't wait for that fight. That's really gonna prove to us where McGregor kind of is. I know Holloway's still up there. He's still a top 5 fighter, so I can't believe he's kind of like just jumping in with a top 5. But they've fought before, and I could see I could. I can't go with a lean yet. I'm not gonna go with a lean. I almost said a lean. I can't go with it yet. um, Let me know in the comment. You guys could tell me a lean though. Let me know in the comments below who you guys have in that main event if it gets announced. Hopefully, it gets announced today. What Brendan Schaub said. Yeah, who do you have? Conor McGregor or Max Holloway? I can't wait for that. I can't wait. That's it for the news. We got through all the topics pretty quickly too. I thought it was going to be a longer video. Um, Sorry if I rushed through it, and sorry we're not in the studio. I don't know what happened. Technical issue. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Yeah, I love recording in the studio. I love seeing that background, the logo. So, but yeah, I just wanted to get this out for you. You guys deserve it. I'm sorry again about last week. I I didn't want to leave you guys without anything, so I was hoping to at least this is good for something. Um, yeah, I'm sure it's not like the prettiest video, but at least you're getting something. At least I could engage with you guys. So hopefully you guys like it, and hopefully you guys like the fights this week or today. It's a UFC Vegas 117. Pretty good fights. I like them. What's a really good fight I'm looking forward to before I go? We got the main event. We got Milky Costa versus Arnold Allen. That's a good fight. Sopaj. I really want to see Sopaj. Um, what's another? Bukowskis is pretty good. Oh, Wellmaker. All right, that's my biggest fight. Yeah, I really want to see Malcolm Wellmaker in that fight. I can't wait. He needs to get back in the win column. He just lost to Ethan Ewing, who's shown that he's really good. He just beat another undefeated prospect. So Ewing's no joke. But yeah, I want to see Will Maker get back in the win column. He's fighting Juan Diaz, who's a Dana White's Contender Series. So this is his debut. So he's fighting some rookie he's no joke though. He got signed by the UFC because he won by a spinning elbow and got a knockout. And the crack. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch that Dana White's Contender Series. Juan Diaz versus Quan, I think. He got a spinning back elbow, and the hit is so loud. It is crazy. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, how loud it was. It sounded like he broke his elbow or the dude's skull. But anyways, uh, hope you guys like the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, share. Really helps the algorithm. And I'll see you guys for the UFC Vegas 117 reaction tomorrow. So peace.